Alright, hello everyone. How's it going? Today we're back doing more Wild Zone hunting, of course. Only finding the important shinies, and if I can update this graphic, if it wants to load for me. It's gonna load. 1 second. And if we update it like that, there we go. As you can see, the only thing that is viable today is Krokorok. This is probably going to be, I would argue this is the hardest hunt in terms of availability of Pokemon. I know, I'd say it definitely is. Whether it's going to be hard in Wild Zone 1 or longer, I highly doubt. Only because of how much effort we have to do and how often we're resetting. So, okay, so that's a shiny Numel already. First one of the day, sure. Sure, there's a shiny over there, why not? I just realised we haven't got game sound on. There we go. Well, that's kind of nuts. Anyway, that wasn't planned. Basically, back to what I was saying. The reason it's a bit more difficult, so you can see that Sandile there, and I don't know if you saw, but over there was a big Krokorok in the ground moving around. That Sandile and that Krokorok's not always there. Sandile is not always there. Either it can be a Krokorok. So we have a chance of either getting 0 Krokorok, 1 or 2. So we're going to be very quick to respawn and see. However, they're not going to be there all the time and it's not guaranteed. So yeah, we've just got to hope really. It's not very many. We do have to already up the phase, include, you know, the new phase, because we've literally started. That's the quickest we've had for a hunt. We just started and it was there. Okay, I don't have Numel saved. Already going over to Shiny Hunters. I'm also going to turn down the music a tiny bit. Give me a second. Let's go down to there. Oh, bloody Discord. I wish I could move it, but it only pops up for a second, so it's very annoying. Anyway, let's do that, and then we want Numel, because we've already somehow got one. Which is just, again, ridiculous. Hi, is it Jacquel or maybe Jacqueline, probably? Okay, Numel. Where are we? Numel. There we go. And that is our first phase already, somehow. But yeah, this is what we're going to be doing today, and hoping Krokorok's going to show up. Unfortunately, I think... I was going to say we're going to break the streak. I wouldn't really say there's been a streak. It's more that yesterday we had an absolute blinder and went through a ton of wild zones, which was great. Today I don't see that happening as much. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. And fingers crossed we get it quickly, but I do anticipate that we're probably going to be here for a while. So we check that one over there, and then as soon as we see Krokorok that side, we can reset. So it's not too bad for resetting. I said it definitely won't be as bad as, you know, as the others. But as I said, we're not always guaranteed Krokorok to appear. So fingers crossed it is the alpha one. Of course, that is what I would prefer. I mean, I suppose the other good thing is we can just run in. We don't have to check immediately. So what we can just do is just run over here and then reset. And that is going to count as a reset because both of them are in range. We don't have to see them at all. And then we don't have to worry. I don't know if they are both in range as soon as we walk in. Let's find out. So if I look to my right... Yes, but it took a second. Sandile's certainly there. Let's try again. I want to just test this to see how... If I do have to run a little bit further. Okay, so Krokorok does spawn in. That one's still a Sandile. I need to see that one on the left as well. And if we do a sprint, does Krokorok spawn in faster? So if I go like that. Okay, yeah. So we want to run to that thing then. I do want to see the one on the left though. Just kind of test. Yeah, that's the first one where we've just come across the shiny before we sort of started, I guess. Okay, so that one does come round, but we're gonna run to this anyway, just to be safe. I think that's sort of the good way of doing it and just being consistent. And then we'll just have a look every now and then. As I said, unfortunately, just with the positioning and everything, it's not ideal and it turns our camera. So, I mean, I could do that, I suppose, actually. Even then, it's not much faster. I still have to turn awkwardly, so you know that's fine. We're just gonna have to do this for a while and hope Krokrok shows up. After this, though, we're in a very good position. I mean, 9's not going to be great, I must admit, but it's not going to be too bad. It'll be better than this for sure. And then after that, it's kind of smooth sailing, I would say. 10, I imagine, we'll get very quickly. I think it's probably going to be Carvana. I hope it's Sharpedo. It is probably going to be Carvana. Then Wild Zone 11. Which one's 11? Or 11's the ground. Oh, actually, 11 might be a little tough. Because we either have to get Slowbro, Clawitzer. That's it as well, because we have a Stunfisk from Dynamax Adventures, which is annoying to pick that up there. But yes, actually 11's going to be slightly tough as well. And I've already hunted for a Furfrou, stupidly. Hey, Buddha, how you doing, man? Don't know if you, as you can see on the screen, Numel we've already got as a shiny. Literally the first, like, I teleported over here to start, and it was there, as I was trying to demonstrate why Krokrok was hard. And it was right there, so I guess maybe lots of shinies to come, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to be Krokrok. It's going to be a tough one, this. I said hopefully it's the alpha, but yeah. I got Vanillish. It wasn't too bad. I mean, I was doing, I was so I started just running across. Then I thought if I run to the middle, that covers the whole area. Then I just started running past the first bench, and that covered the Floette spawns as well. And then I thought, you know what? Only Floette's going to miss out if I don't go to the bench. And that was not a super massively important one. Shuppet's still in range, Vanillish is still in range. I don't have to think about Kakuna being there instead of Floette, etc. And I think I did maybe 10 resets, and then Vanillish was there. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. We absolutely flew through him yesterday, as you saw. You know, the double alphas was insane. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, today I feel like I know I don't know what these exact spawn rates are, and it's certainly, you can't actually say it's 50-50 just because there's 2 Krokorok. However, I would say it's probably more in our favour it is going to be alpha, just because I think the spawn rate of, because if the alpha's not there, it's because nothing's there, right? And I'm pretty sure the spawn rate of how often the alpha shows up to not showing up, it's more likely to show up than the Sandile Krokorok is to be a Krokorok. I think Sandile's more likely. So I think we actually have a good chance of this being the alpha. Unfortunately, just, it's not, you know, we're basically just single one resetting, but only 2 of them, and there's a possibility on a reset neither of them show up, so it's not the best. Yeah, I mean, realistically, next week, once I've hopefully, you know, quite a few further wild zones down the line, or maybe even towards the end of this week, I'll be in wild zones where there's so many I can get, and we'll get them so quickly, I'm sure of it. As I said, we got past the worst. Wild Zone 1 was just, yeah, really horrible. Really bad. I mean, I suppose getting in, like, if we'd done it backwards, because I considered doing it backwards a little bit, it would have made it harder, of course, and I don't know if we necessarily might have crossed any out, in that some we get later we wouldn't be able to get earlier, but certainly for Wild Zone 1 we would have only focused on Bunnelby then, which might have changed how I tried to run in, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty much streaming every day at the moment, just because I don't mind doing a couple hours of this in the evening, and I sort of want to, because one, I want to do the challenge, and I'll, you know, want to post on YouTube and everything, but also I'm just like, I'm enjoying playing this game, so I'm just going to continue streaming it whilst I can. Also, it's also just nice to have my content saved online and talk to people as well, you know. It's not as fun when I'm sitting here for a few hours on my own, you know. But it's nicer. And I said we can see some awesome shinies. I can't believe some of the ones we've gotten, and how long that Bunnelby was. But really, Bunnelby, I think we're still a few hours away Say I hit like 3 hours on this hunt today. I think we'd still be short of Wild Zone 1 if we combined Wild Zone 2 all the way to 8, I think. 2 we did an hour and a half. Actually, Wild Zone 3 was quite long. Wild Zone 3, okay, let's say it was 3 hours. I think it was under that, but I'm not entirely sure. But let's just say it was 3 hours. Wild Zone 2 was an hour and a half, which takes us to 4.5 hours. Wild Zone 5 was 30 minutes, that's 5. Wild Zone 6 was 10 minutes. And Wild Zone 7 was, I think, 40 minutes. So let's just say 6 hours then. That's still another... Yeah, we'd have to hit 3 hours today, and we'd still be a little bit short. Which is just nuts, that's how long Wild Zone 1 took. But I'm so glad it's done now. Because it wasn't even for anything good. Like, this is where I'd rather spend 9 hours getting a cool shiny Alpha Krokorok. Or a Shalfa Dragonite like what I do have, you know. So the fact I did it on a bloody Bunnelby is just mental. Trying to get the Pokemon Adventure 7 more people active. Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, I'll post now. Why not? Obviously, it's mainly being a Dynamax Adventure server. I mean, once this has kind of died down a little bit, I'll get back to doing more DA streams. But at the moment, I'm just doing this every day. I'll drop it in there now if anyone wants to. Although I can't imagine many people check the channel. Oh, bugger. Wait, hold on. I forgot you have to do a full thing in here. Save. There we go. Oh, yeah, well, I said hopefully we can move on from it. This is the one I've been dreading the most. Just, you know, after Wild Zone 1. But even before Wild Zone 1, I was most concerned about this. But I said the upside is that I am able to kind of reset pretty quickly, so it's not as bad. But I don't know, just something in my brain has been telling me a lot. Okay, so it does look like Sandile does spawn instead of the Krokorok if Krokorok doesn't show up. But yeah, this is a prime example of one where neither of them show up. So, you know, it's a little bit annoying, but... Oh, you're trying to get away from it. I see. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Oh, dear. No, I wish I could. Sandile, I got this line in, what's the desert called in Scarlet and Violet? I can't remember. What is this version? This is like a really odd version. Oh, it's a BDSP night version. Okay, that's why. Yeah, I can't... Whatever the desert was called in Scarlet and Violet, I got all 3 Sandile in there. I really kind of miss the era of Scarlet and Violet hunting because it was definitely new and just... I don't know, I really enjoyed that. So I do hope we get to get a lot more of that in Gen 10. But yeah, I got them all there, and then I tried hunting Krokorok in Blueberry Academy and didn't get it, which is great for this challenge because the odds were massively in my favour to be getting it in the outbreaks, and we obviously didn't get it. So, you know, here we are today, being able to hunt it for the decks. And we can obviously complete the line if we do get Crocodile in Wild Zone 20, because it does show up as an alpha there, so it's very, very possible. I mean, it is also possible we get a Shalfa Sandile here. It's unlikely. Be interesting if we did. So what I can see now, actually, is it seems to be the one on the left is always Sandile or Krokorok with the normal sort of alpha chances. Then the one on the right is predominantly Krokorok, Alpha Krokorok, and nothing. And then very rarely Sandile. Or maybe it is actually just Sandile and I just can't see it a lot of the time. That probably makes more sense, you know. Let's have a little look. If it's not the Alpha Krokorok. Okay, yeah, I think it is just Sandile. So never mind what I said before about him more likely to get the Alpha Krokorok. But yeah, what will suck is getting a shiny Sandile because like the 2 Ekans we got in Wild Zone 4, when it's on a slot that could have been the other Pokemon, you're like, oh, we got the shiny roll, but not the easier roll of, you know, just getting lucky as to which Pokemon it is, you know. Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, at least I know. I mean, it's in terms of easiness, definitely not. But in terms of the challenge, at least every single Wild Zone has one Pokemon I can hunt, and I stopped myself quickly enough from doing any other shiny hunts. As I just said though, like Wild Zone 11's not going to be great, and if I hadn't decided to randomly shiny hunt a little bit in Wild Zone 19, then I could have been a bit easier and could have got Furfrou. Because although I could get Clauncher, you know, that's going to be a region upgrade only, which is why we have to get Clawitzer. It's just a shame I did them, to be honest, because I didn't have Violet, and Clauncher and Clawitzer are Violet exclusives, but I borrowed Violet to hunt them, you know, which I probably could have, you know, avoided, but oh well, is what it is. This is where we're at, and we've got to hunt for these guys. Yeah, I mean, I mean, they definitely are. Like, if I get one, and it still follows all the other rules, like it's gonna replace it. Ooh, why is this not full screen? There we go. However, it's just I think it's mainly because so few games have it, and to have a fourth condition on top of it, like mind you, the region one is just kind of like if I have two Pokemon to choose between, that will make help me decide. But really, it's not something I'm actively trying for. You know, the Luxury Ball, I suppose I am, and, you know, I'd probably try technically for the Luxury Ball more, but that's because it's a lot easier. You know, if I find a shiny in any method, I just throw a Luxury Ball. Unless, of course, you know, it's in a different game. I'm not going to change games just because it doesn't have a Luxury Ball in it. But the one I try to do the most is definitely the stage one. That's the one I kind of enjoy the most, I suppose. Just because it's just cool. Like, I'm sure people understand. As I think for the average person, the coolest one is my full odds shiny Charizard I got in Let's Go, and there is a tiny clip of it in my YouTube video that I got posted. But yeah, that was nuts, and that's caught in a Master Ball because I mean, one, they didn't have Luxury Balls in that game, but I mean, thank God I did that because no way was I losing a shiny a full Charizard just flying around, you know. And that was the one that made me go, nah, I want to change. I want to do that, prioritize that. So, you know, although I try to do all of them, I'll still do a hunt even if it doesn't necessarily meet the rules. You know, I'll still try and do my best to follow them. But it's not like a deciding factor of who I hunt, which games, etc. So to have alphas on top, especially when so few Pokemon actually have an alpha, because mind you, there are Pokemon that are in both PLA and this game. I don't know how many, to be fair. I mean, Bergmite, Hippowdon, Hippopotas. Who else is in both games? I don't know. But, I mean, I suppose a lot of the Kanto lot, Machop and Machiroka Machamp, they definitely all are, you know. Froslass, Lucario, Garchomp, yeah, there's loads. I'm just surprised. I suppose they have to bring all the Mega ones they have to bring back, which is why I was so shocked at Hippowdon. That's why I assumed Hippowdon was getting a Mega, because I was like, there's no way they'd put Hippowdon in this game as a non-fan favourite, as a Pokemon who was in the last Legends game, and Scarlet and Violet. It just seems a really odd choice to include, but fine by me. It's just a shame we didn't get a Mega. But yeah, with just so few, it's not something I can really prioritise. I just like be cool to get them. Plus, if I did, then I'd probably be times going, oh no, I shouldn't get this number. I should hunt for a Shalfa one, and I'll be here for hours then. God. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick walk around, see if anything's shiny. I mean, we can see most things in view, but you never know. Things do hide. Things in the holes certainly can be. Yeah, so okay, nothing, that's fine. I can't believe we got that Numel, literally first one, but... Well, that's the good thing. I'm 99% sure I do have everything. I can hunt something in every zone. I mean, we can have a look now. So, Wild Zone 9, there's plenty. Carbink, Mawile, Fletchinder, Kadabra. I think that's it. Wild Zone 10, we have Carvana, Alpha Sharpedo, Staryu, Tynamo, Watchog, Arbok. Those can all be hunted. In 11, we can do the Alpha Clawitzer, and Alpha Slowbro, which again is kind of bad, but yeah, it is what it is. Wild Zone 12, Vanillish, I think, and the Alpha Avalugg. Actually, no, we need another Bergmite. So either one, Bergmite or Avalugg, works. I think that's it for that one. 13. I don't have a shiny Pinsir. I was worried about this one, and then I remembered I didn't have a Pinsir, so that's fine. I also can take Weepinbell as a stage upgrade. And the Phantump would be nice, because it's, you know, region upgrade, technically. Obviously, we already hunted the shiny Alpha Trevenant there. So that could have been an upgrade as well, but we already did it. Wild Zone 14, what have we got? Helioptile, Aron, Lairon, Emolga, they're all fine. Wild Zone 15. Where's Wild Zone 15? It's the hidden one. This is the one I already done a bit of hunting in, so we can't do Pumpkaboo anymore, but we can still do Shuppet as of... Well, no, we can still do Shuppet. Scolipede. Can we do Haunter? I want to say no, but we might be able to. But we can also do the Alpha Gourgeist. Scolipede's the main target there. That's what I'd like to get. 16. We can do Flaffy, because obviously I avoided the last one, and Ampharos. But that is it, unfortunately, in there. They do help the others. I would, you know, getting Florges and Froakie was nice, tiny little upgrades, but not important. But yeah, it's only actually Flaffy and Ampharos. But as I said, that will be fine resetting outside of this wild zone. 17. We can take Lampant, Diggersby, and then Chespin's a mini upgrade as well. And I think Alpha Mawil's in that wild zone, so we could technically get that if we don't get it earlier on. Oh yeah, for sure. I think this is probably going to be the next longest one. It's literally only the Alphas, annoyingly. Like, on that list, I can't take any of them. Furfrou was the only one, and I hunted for it in 19. And Stunfisk I got in Dynamax Adventures. 18... 18 is Salamence. I don't know about Noivern. Oh, it might just be Salamence, you know, that one. I think that's just Salamence, which is cool. It's cool that I'm going to be hunting shiny Alpha Salamence, but not so cool in the fact that it's going to be a pain. And then 19, there's 19 I know, we've got a few, Kangaskhan, Drampa, that might be it actually, and then obviously 20 has tons. So there is something for everything, which is good news. But at the same time, yeah, some of them are going to be a bit tougher than others. But that was sort of the expectation. I mean, I was expecting Wild Zone 5 to, you know, after we worked out our little path, to be our fastest, and then it was, you know, by nearly an hour. I wasn't expecting Wild Zone 6 to become the new fastest, so. Because that was ridiculous, getting in under 10 minutes. And it being the Houndoom as well is just hilarious. You can bench on top of the Zone 18 build against one Salamence. I don't know if I want to bench, though. Like, it's going to be quicker just going to the Wild Zone and running in. I'd rather do that anyway. I hate doing the bench. I want to try just avoid the bench the whole time. The only exception is maybe Wild Zone 10, if it does count for all of... Actually, even then, it's going to be quicker. Because the whole point of the bench is for you to do AFK overnight. But it is just quicker if you spawn out the wild zone and run to where the bench is if you wanted to. So if the bench does work anyway, I'll just do that. You have 2 Shalfers. Which 2 Shalfers do you have? What, static ones, I'm assuming? Because I know you have the Ampharos. Like 6 of them. There you go, you have 7 Shalfers. Like I have quite a few Fletchinders and Letlios. Oh, you have the Salamence. Oh, yeah. I remember now. Yeah, I actually had a look last night in both PLA and in home to see if there were other shiny alphas that I forgot about. But I'm pretty sure I named them all, which was 7. And I think after the Houndoom yesterday, that is 7 unique ones for us as well. And it's obviously easier, especially Litleo and Fletchling. They don't really feel like they count so much. But I think about half of them were static, half of them weren't. Like Torterra, Infernape, Probopass all were. But I know we obviously found an Electabuzz. I can't remember what the others were, but they weren't static. So there's a nice mix from that. And then I actually looked for Scarlet Violet to move over the shinies and organise them, because I thought I hadn't organised them. Turns out I've done it already, which was great. So I don't have to do any of that, which is really, really nice. I thought I had loads of organising to do, which I don't. At least not for the shiny decks. So yeah, we can just kind of move everything over. And any upgrades, like I can directly compare them. I mean, I'm gonna know anyway because pretty much every time I add new shinies in, or I get new shinies, I'm moving them from a new game. I check if they're the correct ones according to my information. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's very hard to get confused. So, Shower Phalanx! Oh, yo, nice! Nice. I wonder if, because I feel like it's not. Is it? No, it is quite a bit bigger than the normal one. I'm interested how much bigger the Mega one is, because I haven't seen that at all. But a non-static one, nice. Unless you got it in Wild Zone 20, I suppose. But that's a really nice one. I really like Phalanx. And again, this was the only Gen 8 Pokemon in the game. You know, with no Gen 9 Pokemon in the game, and both Baxcalibur, Annihilate being the DLC, I think only, what, Mr. Mime has been the other one in Gen 8? I don't know who else there is, at least off the top of my head. I can't think of anyone else who's been shown to be in the trailers. Oh, Corviknight. Corviknight's also in Gen 8, of course. My question that I always have in terms of new forms, you know, any sort of rework or addition to an existing Pokemon, is how on earth they decide it. Like, I get the Kanto ones and fan favourite ones, sure. But what makes them go, you know what, Phalanx needs a Mega? Like, I'm so curious, because you can, I think, if it's well designed enough, you can justify it for everything. And I always wonder how they decide those. If they're just someone in the office going, please do Phalanx. Nice one, man. Nice one. Is that your first or second non-static Shiny Alpha? Because they're the real wins, I'd say. I mean, to be fair, the static ones outside of Wild Zone 3 are pretty good wins as well. Like, you have to be resetting. But the non-static ones feel like a miracle. It's like, can't believe it. Oh my god. 7th? Your 7th non-static one? What, Shiny Alpha? Really? That's mental. Okay, well, what have you got then? So we know you've got Phalanx now. What are your other ones? Because I only have Skiddo. I think that's it. Which obviously was from the Wild Zone 3 over the top resetting, and just happening to roll, you know, that extra 1 in 20 on the shiny, which is nice. But because Kakuna was always on the tree. Ah, I see. Yeah, I suppose Kakuna's one field that you come across. I tell you what would be really hard is to get that Pancham. Cool, imagine. I want to see someone with a shiny Alpha Pancham. Then I'll be really impressed. Like, even though Wild Zone 3 is Wild Zone 3, that's still nuts. That's one of the. I think the only one that's harder is Gible. Oh, I'm mentioning that last night. The very end of stream, I came over here to decide if I was going to do any more or to start this one, and I came over here. I'm not even kidding. I think maybe the second I did one reset just to kind of see where spawns were. That second reset, guess who showed up? That's right. It was Alpha Gible. I couldn't believe it. I literally just showed up and this guy was there. It was trolling me. That's what it was. I need to move these guys soon. I couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. Phalanx, Pidgeotto, Flaffy, Swablu for Baby Bellsprout. Damn. That's actually so many. I can't believe how many you've got. So not bad ones as well. I mean, because I think with the babies are arguably the best ones to get, because if you get anything else in the line, you can just save them. I mean, I know a lot of people, if you're not targeting them, you know, they evolve them early. And I definitely used to make that mistake a little bit in the past with some Pokemon, especially with, you know, trying to catch them in the correct stage now. But if you're just patient, you know, you keep it at a certain stage, then once you get the others, you can go, okay, I can evolve this, or it doesn't matter, sort of thing. And then you have the whole line. Because the last thing you want to do is, you know, evolve a shiny Fracture into Haxorus and then get a shiny Haxorus, which I may have done. But yeah. Or get multiple shiny Fractures, I suppose. Oh. Dude, I actually got water today. I remembered. it's just it's painful when we don't even look. I mean, they're both Sandile. That's like a Crocrock's not even showing up. It's not ideal, is it really? Oh, let's see this. Oh my god, it's massive. Jesus. I knew obviously it was going to be bigger, but it's just, I know obviously, Pokemon have different sizes and stuff. And I saw someone who actually caught a shiny non-alpha XL Scyther, which was, I think the odds are even harder than some of the other, like every other size and alpha. But just with once one's an alpha and it's already quite big, it's ridiculous. I mean, Dragonite is so big. Like, this one's normal. When it Mega Evolves, I said it's difficult to get in a photo because it's just massive. Like, I can just hide in it. Like, guys, look, I'm playing as Dragonite. This is Dragonite, let's go. Like, and he's, he's big there, but I said the Mega one, you just can't even fit in a photo. He's way too big. You just can't get the whole angle. It's nuts. Whenever they're alpha and just Mega, it's ridiculous. It really is. I suppose, yeah, they don't have to be shiny, but that's what makes it cooler, right? And that separates the Shalfers in this game, especially for kind of less, for non-static ones. That's sort of the shiny hunter's flex, because the average person can flex a shiny, sure, but in this game it's not like, especially Wild Zone 3 ones, it's not hard to get a shiny, or the odd one here and there, but having a non-static shiny alpha, or a shiny alpha of a really cool, hard to get Pokemon, one that doesn't appear so often, etc., that's what's cool. I want to see an Alpha Zygarde. That thing will be massive. No, or sorry, an Alpha Eternatus. This is like 100 feet tall. Jeez, that would be nuts. Set another one. Let's have a look. Oh, nice. Not quite as big in its non-mega form. I tell you what, that's something I'm always really curious about whenever I see online, is talking about heights of Pokemon. Because the way some are measured is so stupid. Because all snake Pokemon, their official height, because they could technically stand up on their, tail, not the full way, but, because they measure that way, Ekans and Arbok are way taller than, like, Camerupts, for example, because of that, which is weird. Another one, which I'm gutted by when I found out, is Dhelmise is canonically, according to Pokedex entries, 12 feet tall, but the way it does that is by measuring it when its anchor's at its longest. So it's not just one massive anchor, which I think is way cooler. I've always said this, but there's always something to me about just a Pokemon being really oversized, like a big Titan. It's why I love Regigigas so much. And, like some of my wallpapers I sometimes have with the big Palkia under the sea. I don't like Palkia, but just the big one. It's not necessarily super scary. I mean, in the sea it is. But just the sort of massive, imposing thing, just so oversized in a kid's video game, I think that's really cool. And kind of funny. Anything else like that in real life, massive things, that is terrifying. Like, imagine just a massive, you're like in a boat and you just see a massive shadow of like a Kyogre under the sea. Oh my god, that is like nightmare material. But just having a really big, like over-the-top, stupidly large Pokemon is really funny to me. Which is why another reason I just love Alphas so much. Yes, they're stronger. Yes, they get guaranteed IVs, whatever. But it's so funny just how big they are. It really is. I mean, there's always a couple where there's a crossover of when they evolve. When they go from, oh, like a big, small Pokemon to, oh my god, they've accidentally made this one way too big. For what it should be. And you get to the final stages and some of them are just nuts. It is quite funny. Oh, another thing I realised the other day, I didn't even clock. Obviously, Mega Feraligatr references Totodile. Like, we all know that. That one's obvious, right? I didn't even realise, because like, for so long I was going, Why does Scolipede have half armor? It looks kind of weird. And I've only just realised that it's like megatating. What? Imitating Whirlipede. I didn't even cross my mind. And it's meant to be a bit more like Whirlipede, which is a really cool idea. I really kind of like that concept. So, and it just looks good. If it looks good, then that's the thing I care about most. And obviously, Dragonite references Dragonair. So, you know, with the wings growing, you know, the bead on its tail. So that's a really nice touch, I think, to a lot of the Megas. Is that sort of improvement, but kind of referencing the rest of its, you know, its past. And obviously, it's shiny being blue, you know, rather than green. Don't get me wrong, I love Dragonite shiny, but I do like the Mega one as well. I love just changing Mega shinies. I think that's cool. Phalanx is a bonus on my way to Shalfa Froakie. Yeah, there you go, exactly. That one's a... They're the sort of phases you want to see, right? Oh, dear. What you don't want to see is shiny Scatterbug and Fletchling and everything I get over and over. That's the stuff you want to avoid. All the boring ones. What would be insane now is if you phased again on a Shalfa you already have. That is really unlucky. Unless it's Wild Zone 3, as we mentioned before. But I mean, that is going to be the quickest way, isn't it, to try and get Shalfas. It's just, I suppose, because you can't control alphas at all, and Pokemon will always stay there if they're shiny, there's no way of kind of trying to hunt better for alphas shinies over just normal shinies. So you might as well just do the fastest to get shinies and then hope you roll that alpha chance, which means it's going to be Wild Zone 3. But there's also the thing of then every night you're going to be full. It's going to be done way before the night's done. But, you know, doing a slower method is the same thing, so it doesn't really matter, I suppose. It'd just be more annoying, I guess. Damn, yeah, so quite a lot. Not as many as me, but you know, quite a lot. Oh, come on, Croc. Let's do a check across the others here. If there's anything on the left side that might have turned shiny as night falls over the city. No Alpha Numal or Camerupt. Anything in these holes? Doesn't look like it. There's a normal Gible. But no shinies. Apart from the very first Numal we came across. Let's go into daytime. Oh no, sorry, nighttime. I've seen this screen enough times, you'd think I'd remember. Apparently not. Okay. Reroll and it appears shiny. Alpha Drillbur. Oh, we're on the right side. Yeah, that's what we need. It's you. I need you to be shiny. You're the one I want the most. But yeah, this is difficult. It's always going to be difficult when there's only one target mon. That's what I've learned. It's although yes, of course, having quicker resets is important. By far, the difference maker is just the more Pokemon that can be shiny. Because, you know, doing a bunch of resets with how, you know, overpowered the shiny charm is effectively, and how many Pokemon you can see in just one reset, you know, effectively you're going to see enough Pokemon in not too long of a time frame, no matter how you're resetting, that you're going to get shiny. You just got to, you know, hope it's the one you have. So it really isn't too much about, you know, how quick the method is. Like Wild Zone 3 is our second longest hunt. We had to hunt for so long, you know, for just because we only had one Pokemon and it didn't appear as much. But, you know, it ultimately is about that. You know, it's nice to have a quicker way of resetting, I suppose. But when you're just, you know, really not checking much and not being able to draw much, and potentially in this scenario not even spawning any of the Pokemon we need, it's definitely a worse scenario. And we'll be very lucky to do better than some of the others. Arguably even Wild Zone 3, because Wild Zone 3 we did so many more resets. So a lot more chances for appearing. But I think, you know, Pancham's a lot less likely to show up. So it's sort of that balance. And we'll see if we get it quicker or slower. Shalfa Medicham, yeah, that would be nice. I think any Shalfers, I mean any Shalfers at all is great, but obviously ones that have Mega Stones and can Mega Evolve, I think is pretty cool. We've got a lot of Wild Zone 16. Wait, so now, I know you said you got the Phalanx. Are you still hunting from Wild Zone 5? Does it reach the Phalanx at the front of Wild Zone 16? Because I'm pretty, or I suppose on the side, right? I would assume you wouldn't be able to see either. Or is it just, I mean, maybe because it's an alpha you saw? I don't know, because in my head, right, if you're resetting Wild Zone 5, you see the Flaffy and Ampharos, everything else is out of reach. So unless you're regularly going to check if anything else is shiny, which I think you might be, because I suppose, I don't know if you'd be able to see Froakie or not. I'm not sure. Because the Fletchinder on the pole, you can see, but it's alpha, so maybe that's why. I don't know. There's one in range. Was that the one that was shiny then? Oh, you do check. Okay, okay. Wait, is one in range as in one in range that you can see, or only one in range that could possibly be shiny and that you're actually resetting for? Because if there's only one you're being able to reset for, and you got it as a Shalfur, that's really insane. Damn. Okay, fair play. Oh wow, yeah, that is crazy then. Because what there's usually what four in there. So to get a Shalfur just off the one instance is nuts. Congrats. I think I've got, yeah, no, I have got a shiny Phalanx in this game, but it was one I caught and I was like, something in my back of my brain is telling me I got this in Gen 9, but I don't really remember when. And I had a look and I do have it, so I obviously caught it at some point. I think I might have checked and it said like, or was that Bagon Shell? I can't remember. Point is, I think it was well over 2 years ago. It was like 2.5 years ago. Sort of when I just started streaming. So I don't really remember. Oh wow, look, this Krokorok was alpha. That one's just a 1 in 20 chance. That would be so funny if we got a shiny alpha Krokorok from Wild Zone 8, but it's not the static one. It's the other one that spawns. That would be a crazy thing of luck. Oh my god, I'll tell you what I did see on Twitter this week. I couldn't believe it. So you know, is it Emerald or is it Ruby, Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green? I can't remember. One of the Gen 3 games. And sometimes you get a shiny... the opposite trainer you fight at the start of the game is a shiny. And obviously you can't catch it. It's their Pokemon and it's only temporary. It's only a temporary shiny. So you always have to kill it if you're playing through. I don't know if you've seen the clip. Or if anyone else has, but the clip was... So it does happen. It does happen quite a lot, right? It's when people are resetting for shiny starters. And, you know, it's a frustrating thing, you know. In Gen 4, it's Starly. Starly could be shiny, and, you know. But it happens quite a lot, right? And I saw a guy on Twitter this week who got it and was just like, oh, no, I can't believe it. That's so annoying. And then they throw out Mudkip, and Mudkip's shiny as well. It's like 1 in ridiculous odds. It's something like, I think it was 1 in, what, 64,000? No, I think it's something like 6 million odds or something. It's absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. Arguably one of the craziest, like, things to have happened ever in Pokemon, like, odds-wise. Because if, I think back then it would have been, what, 1 in 8,192, right? So it's that, and then that again, because it has to happen for their Pokemon as well. So yeah, that is what? Is that 6? So 64,000, 640,000. No, that's 1 in 64 million. There you go. 1 in 64 million chance that's happened. And that's the first I've ever seen it. You know, it's bound to happen someday, you know, assuming it would. Although, to be fair, not very many people not only record the content so we know it's happened, but are resetting for that long, and most likely people aren't going to get it on their first just attempt of playing the game. But yeah, 1 in 64 million is just ridiculous. What is the odds of catching a full odds Chansey with a lucky egg? Because I'm assuming that's going to be, what, another 8,192 times, what, maybe like 1 in 50 or so. It's certainly not going to be 1 in 8,192 again. But yeah, I mean, that is just the chances of that happening are so low, so low. Like that guy is never gonna, in terms like, although it might not be seen as lucky, he is never ever going to do anything as lucky as that in his life ever again. There's no shot. 1 in 64 million, potentially a world's first. It just, yeah, it's just mental. So it was, it was going viral. I think, appropriately, because how does that happen, man? Truly is just insane. Really is. I mean, we've had some pretty good stuff. Shiny to Dunsparce 3-segment first try was pretty cool. It is 1 in 100. I suppose the odds of it being first try are pretty low. I don't know. In fact, I'm interested. I mean, it's the fact I wasn't even going for it. So, a lot of people would have probably mass hunted Dunsparce and evolved him first, whereas I just got 1 Dunsparce and then finished. Well, no, I got 2 because I need 1 for the shiny and then 1 for shiny Dunsparce, and evolved it and got so lucky. So these things do happen. If something is 1 in 100 chance, what is the chance of that thing happening first try? ChatGPT can work this out for me. Is it really 1% though? It feels like it's lower than that. I thought this was going to be a cross thing. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Oh, what? Oh, okay, okay, Chansey as well. I was thinking just the lucky egg. I was like, there's no way the lucky egg is 1 in 524,000. Yeah, I mean, that is still ridiculous. So, do you know what it is just to have a lucky egg? Is it like 1 in 100 or something? 1 in 50? Because, I mean, yeah, that is crazy. And obviously, you said, thank God he was recording it. I mean, he would have probably just whipped out a phone or something to record it, but yeah, that is just the craziest thing I've ever seen. 52,428,800. Wow. Nearly there though. Very nearly there. But that must mean that the lucky egg is really rare then, surely. That must mean the lucky egg's in like the thousands, no? Like 1 in the 1,000 or something. Because that's ridiculous. Well, that can't be right then. Because 8,192 times 64 is not that big. Oh, I see. Okay, you're considering the spawn as well. Okay, fine. I see. Yeah, so that is for that in terms of... Because if you're considering... I suppose for Zigzagoon, because it's a fixed battle, and it's not like you're going for that, but because it's a fixed battle, it's always going to be a Zigzagoon. So that specific instance, yeah, is those odds, but almost any other instance, like my Dunsparce, or first of it being shiny and then appearing and all of that, it continues more. I was more considering once it's a Chansey, but I suppose, yeah, if you're trying to just search in the grass from that sort of wider context and point of view, then yeah, it does become a lot harder. Like this is going to be, we're going to be here for a good few hours, unfortunately. I can't imagine we're going to do this today. We'd have to get pretty lucky. Gonna suck. Yeah. Oh my god, that was loud. Sorry. Oh, hey, how you dead? How's it going? I need to turn down my alerts. Jesus Christ. It's like a jump scare. I have no idea how to though. I haven't messed with them for so long. I've had them there for ages. I'm so sorry as well, because this is such boring content. We're at arguably the worst wild zone for this challenge, in which I can only get Krokorok. So, yesterday we did 4 wild zones in like 2 and a bit hours. Whereas this wild zone is probably going to take more than that just on its own, unfortunately. Which sucks. You're lucky it was an egg given to me by a Black White 2 NPC, which hatched into a shiny Trapini. Oh my god. Wow. I was just talking about someone I spotted on Twitter, who got I can't. It was one of the Gen 3 games, who got the shiny Zigzagoon opposite them, and then the shiny Mudkip as well. So like 1 in 64 million or whatever it is, and just how mental that is, and probably won't ever happen again. Maybe not ever again, but I think that's got to be a first. It's so unlikely. 1 in 6. Yeah, that's what I mean. How mental is that? I couldn't believe it. Mental. Emerald. There you go. Yeah, I suppose a lot of people play Emerald. But even then, it's just like, it's the sort of thing that you go, yeah, that would never happen. Like, you'd put money on it to be like, yeah, that probably won't ever happen, or we won't ever see it happening, because you're certainly not going to sit down and try and go, well, I can make sure it happens. I'll do it myself. It's not going to happen. But yeah, that is nuts. It really is. We've been lucky, and we've certainly been unlucky, but never that lucky. I need to get back to Arceus soon. I haven't done it in a while, but I mean, admittedly, because of this game, I'm probably not going to be doing it for a while. My sister's also been using the Switch, so when I do it on my own, I just do it on the Switch too. But when I've been doing it on stream alongside Dynamax Adventures, I do with the other Switch. So when we eventually go back to doing some more DAs, I'll do some. But for now, I think it's sitting at 14.9 thousand, and eventually we'll get there. Eventually. Emerald RNG is broken. It's put in a certain press there. What? So you can? What? So you saying you can manipulate it then? Or are you saying broken is? Are you saying is broken in this sense bad or good? Because it's one of those words that nowadays, slang-wise, can mean both. And I usually assume it's the good one. Oh dear. I see. Dear. Have another look around. If anything shows up. Oh, something has. No way! Oh my god! No flipping way! There's no shot. There's no shot. We've done that in under an hour. That's our 3rd fastest hunt now. That is stupid. Okay, it's not the alpha, but I don't care. What the hell? We were meant to be doing this for like 3 streams. Yeah, I do have the charm, but oh my god, it's just the sort of the fact it just doesn't spawn very often. And Bunnelby in Wild Zone 1 took me over 9 hours. It took me 9 hours. Like, it took me so long. I can't believe we've done that so quickly. That is insane. When I heard it there, I thought, oh my god, it could be Sandar. But considering Sandar doesn't really move so much, I was like, oh my god, it's got to be, you know, it's got to be Krokorok. I was about to say, maybe we need to move a bit more forward to try and get Camerupt in range. Holy moly, I can't believe we've just got that. That was quicker than Wild Zone 2. So right now, our fastest is Wild Zone 6, which took us 10 minutes. Oh my god, I can't believe we got that. Wild Zone 5 in 35, and this is our 3rd fastest one, beating Wild Zone 2, 3, 4, and 1. Insane. Insane. I can't believe we've got that. That is just unbelievable. Oh, that is so nice, though, because it means we move on to another Wild Zone. I really thought I was going to be here for a few days. That's really, really nice. Okay, in that case, I need to get the tier maker back up. I closed it because I wasn't expecting to make another one. Oh my god. Okay, let's get this up then. Where are we? Oh, no, wrong one. There we are. Jesus. My god. That is a real surprise. Sorry. I'm so surprised. Okay, where are we? Where am I going? I need to get the other one up. Okay, let's transfer all over the different tiers straight over so I can write it. Although apparently it's not loading, which is great. We love when that happens. There we go. It's taking forever. Nice. I can't believe we're moving on from this today. I said I think we're going to lose, you know, the fact that we've beaten one today and, you know, or we beat 4 yesterday. Yeah, just ridiculous. This is the luck I was talking about that I wanted. Not 1 in 64 million luck, not even close, but I'll certainly take it. Wow. Okay, let's have a look then. So, Carbink is a brand new shiny. So we can take that. This is a duplicate. We did get it in Wild Zone 3, but I already have it anyway. This will be an upgrade to the stage. Same with Kadabra. Manectric is a brand new shiny, so that was one this is probably the one I want the most from this Wild Zone. Same with Mawile. This is going to be a region upgrade, and we don't need this. I believe that's all of them. So let's hide our phases, because that's done. We can reset our timer as well. So now if we save this, download that, we can now close this window and switch our images. God, this mouse. I don't know if this mouse is bad or if it's just my mouse mat. I need to work it out. It's really annoying. And do that. And there we go. So that is a much more forgiving tier list to work through. My god, I can't believe we got that so quickly. I really wasn't expecting that. As I said, it's not the alpha, which is... I would have preferred, of course, but I don't care. The fact we're out that so quickly is just fantastic, really. So we can make our way over to Wild Zone 9 and start hunting here. I do need to sort of work out where we're going to do this, though, because I think this one's certainly more of an awkward Wild Zone. Oh, I should tell you what, I should check quickly. If it's day-night Pokemon. So, Wild Zone 9. Everything is all time periods, so we don't have to worry about that. Nice. So, there's a Sableye over there. If we go this way... Does this scaffolding lead us somewhere? It does. It's just... Scaffolding as a whole is a pain. There is a ladder right here that we could use. We don't have to go around all the scaffolding and stuff. Oh, it's different. It's different gender. Okay, that's fine. So we don't care really. I have both anyway, so it's not really a matter. Yeah, so this takes us straight here, which isn't great because I don't really need these guys. Hey, where's Fletcher? The middle rooftop, day and night. Okay. And the other problem is this being a low rooftop is I can't just jump off and go up to this one. It's kind of an awkward position. I mean, I could climb up there and then come to this one, but then it's like, might as well run through there. There's got to be a better way to do this, I think, right? This one just might be an awkward running around one. Which may mean it's a bit slow. Obviously, we've got Carbink up here. So what I'd like to do is to sort of start up here. Make our way down. We go past the Kadabra. We see those Carbink over there. I will start the timer as well, actually. And then that kind of cements some good positioning. Can we... And then we can just see Meowstic if we want. We don't see Mawile or the others. How do we get up onto those rooftops? Aha, there's another ladder over there. So we could do that, then come over here. Is there anything over here? There's a Sableye there. We see that Mawile in the corner. Then climb this ladder. Yeah, what, are you talking about this one? Is this the connected one? And, I mean, what is up here? Is there anything actually good up here? Oh, this is the main Ectric, okay, which I definitely want to try and get, because that would be a sick one to find. And then more while over there. Okay, Yeah, it's annoying that this middle rooftop connects so much, but is too high up. I mean, what I want to do is that I want to start with those carbon car. But this one takes us straight to this rooftop, which isn't that helpful. Is it quicker to run round to that ladder there, I wonder? Or can we even run round? Okay, we can. So we can run past all that Sableye. It happens to us. And then this gets us with the car. Okay, so we can this one's slightly quicker. So we can come to here, see the Carbink, then see the Kadabra, run across to see these other Carbink and the Meowstic in the middle, plus potentially Esper/Fletchinder. Then dive down there, climb up that ladder. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of ladders, unfortunately. Go up the ladder by Kadabra. That one we have to jump over to anyway, though. I think it's going to be quicker. What's it called? Just so if we run in, because we reset this side, instead of going up there and having to jump over it, surely I think it's going to be quicker if we just go here. And then we come up here. And then this is on the Kadabra rooftop, amongst Carbink as well. So we see them there, and are in range of these guys immediately. I think that's gonna be the quickest way. And because I want to be checking main Ectric, we then run down here, see Mawile down there, and then make our way up this ladder. I think that's the strat. Because I can't go on this scaffolding. Because I don't think... Can you climb this scaffolding? No, you cannot. But yeah, I think that's the strategy. And then obviously there's the Mawile up there. So we should finish by them and get a decent one, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Carbink for rock fairy types of decks. Yeah, it's a good combo. I actually had very few rock types. I realised quite early on. Yeah, there's more potential for phasing. You know, we are going past pretty much everything. No, we are going past everything. There's nothing we're avoiding, so anything could be shiny. I mean, Ectric, as I said, is the best one I think here. You know, the fact that it's alpha and it is also just a new one. It would limit effectively Electrike, but we don't have Electrike anyway, so it's not too much of an issue. I was wondering if that's quicker, if we time it well, than just landing. But yeah, my Excadrill just used Drill Run. Yeah, so this is such a sick shiny and such a cool Mega. It's one of my favourite Megas, and it was the first Mega I used in this game outside of Absol, of course. And then what we'll do is if we come down here, then if we just go into the middle, because no one's in the middle. And I don't know if just coming down, running back down here and running around probably resets them all anyway. We probably don't even need to do a full test. You know what, let's go for it. So you're a level 28 female. We'll keep like kind of a note of the same areas. So we've got a level 28 female Sableye. Level 28 female Sableye. Level 28 Carbink. I didn't realise Carbink was genderless. Well, then an Alpha Kadabra, that's easy enough to remember. So we've got two level 28s. And a 29, okay. You're a 41. I'm not going to bother looking at more. Actually, no, I should look at more. Just to be safe. 27 male. I hope I remember all of these. I haven't. The one you sent me in the Discord I didn't have, which was great. I have not found any others. I haven't really been searching, to be fair. Been kind of busy during the day. Okay, 40 female. 28 again. And then we'll just check one of these guys. 28 male. Okay, so now, I think just going back down here will reset them all. Because we go enough of a way round that I'm assuming they're all probably going to just reset naturally. So this was a 28 female to start. And there we go, 28 male. So that one's new. And it doesn't matter the Sableye, but it's more important that the area's changed. Is Kadabra still alpha? No, so Kadabra's resetting. Now these are hard to tell, but they're both level 29, and this was level 28, so that's also resetting. Amazing. This was 28 and 29, and we've got level 30. That one I think followed us, to be fair, but that's just because it followed us. This was a level 41 female. That one's still level 41 female, although that one's unlikely to change, or a lot less likely. This one's moved completely, although I think it was still 27 male, so we'll check that again when we go round, but that is good, I suppose. Yeah, it's massively different, and I think just climbing the ladder for a lot of them is making a difference. So this one was, I think, level 40 male? Got level 41 female. Okay, well, we'll check the alphas again. I remember the others. I mean, that's again changed. And I think that's changed. So, yeah, just going down here like this, I think, is resetting it. So that's a good thing. We don't have to reset out the gate every time. And I would think this is probably slightly quicker. And yeah, there you go. Look, that's an alpha now. So, there we are. Arguably one of the worst alphas, I think, for me to get in Wild Zone 20 as a shiny if it shows up. You know, Shalfis is still cool and all, but that is probably the one I'd want the least. Considering the circumstances. Okay, so let's test this female again, this Meowstic. Because this one's right in the middle. So this one's still a level 41 female. So we might not be resetting Meowstic. Which, to be fair, that one hasn't changed either. But we'll keep checking them. It's not too bad. Yeah, I know it's always female, but I was hoping the level might have changed. Now, this was level 41 female. This is the one I care most about. Level 40 male, there we go. Okay, so Manectric is definitely resetting, which I'd expect it to. We go all the way over there. And you know what? We don't need to check these ones anymore. Although I should have gone across so I could dive better. But, okay. That's fine then. We don't have to properly reset and we should be fine. It'd just be nice to know if the Meowstic is resetting. Because I'll certainly take the Shalfa Meowstic, and obviously it being a region upgrade is cool, so, you know, we take those. But, yeah, I don't know, we'll have to see. It might always be a level 41 female, that's the only thing. I'll tell you what, in this next one, okay, so you've definitely changed, because you just moved position. Yeah. So the only thing we're slightly doubting is the Meowstic, and which makes sense, because it's central. So what I'll do is, after this one, I'll reset properly and just keep checking that Meowstic a few times and just see. Yeah, and that was level 41 female again. Okay. I mean, we're seeing plenty. We may end up just getting a shiny before, you know, we get anything anyway, or come across anything or whatever. So let's reset on this one and see. Really? Quiet? Okay, I can turn it up. Like, I can go all the way up here. But from when I was testing it, I can also turn it up. I turned it down because I seemed really loud today, but it might just be that my headphones acting up. I mean, how's this? That sounds pretty loud to me. At least on my end. You can't hear the game. I mean, I suppose I might just have max volume on my headphones and. I can't turn the game up more, I don't think. Hold on. Oh, I can turn the game up a little bit more. I mean, OBS is everything fully up. And I said on my end it sounds fine. I do have everything, you know, see, this is too loud for me, game volume now. I can turn mine down, so that's fine. Oh, I didn't check this. Okay, so that's changed then, which makes me think that it's not changing when I'm running around. But I'm not going to do a reset just for it. I'm not too bothered. Yeah, so I'm just going to turn this down a little bit for me then. If it works for you guys, then that's fine. That's the main thing. Because I can adjust mine manually to differ from how you guys hear it. Yeah, I don't think we're going far enough from Meowstic, but as I said, I think it's just going to be similar-ish speed. I suppose I could have done that in Wild Zone 5 when I was still figuring out how to hunt. And how's it sound now? Do I sound different? Does the game sound better? What does Shiny Morwell look like? I don't know. Okay, yeah, just I said, always let me know because it's so hard to judge. It's usually gonna be my mic volume and what's it called? The music volume, because they're the two things that are kind of being changed a lot. Everything else pretty much stays the same. Okay, it's got like a pinkish bite thing. Yeah, I mean, I do only have game, what's it called? What's the word? The environment? I don't have game music on, basically. That's the only thing I've got turned off. Everything else is on. It's just not super turned up. I can always turn it up and then turn it down via my mixer. Whatever works best. I'm just thinking, in that time I fall off there, if I'm not seen, which I have been, that resets from there, the time it takes. Would I have run to that corner by then? Yeah, because I have to enter as well. I definitely would have. So it is going to be quicker. Okay. I just wanted to double check. Shiny Kadabra barely looks any different, right? I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yeah, it's really different. Okay. Another shiny. Oh, I'm jealous. I need Electrike. It's one I don't have. It would actually push up the number. What on earth was that? Is that Earth Power? Obviously, Manectric, though, is the main target. 10? What, from Wild Zone 5? Really? Okay, that was my bad. Oh, can you not? You can't. Why is there not a gate there? That seems a bit silly. You can actually have to wait to not be seen and leave. Oh, for God's sake! I just want to get out of here. Oh. Ah, I see. There we go, thank you. What, as in like on the little courtyard on the left sort of thing? Maybe I should. I suppose for Wild Zone 16 it will probably appear. And it won't be like a downside because it won't ruin a Wild Zone because I've already been there. And instead it will just give me a nice new shiny I need. Fingers crossed. I mean, we might not be resetting Fletchinder either, but I just don't know if it's... Because to be fair, once we see them more while, we can reset and it will be quicker. But the problem is obviously if Manectric has seen us, then we're aggroed. So actually, I'll tell you what, if we run along like this... Oh, wait, what's seen us there? Fletchinder. Because I was... Oh, yeah, and then here, I think it's quicker if we reset like that. If we just run along like that, don't get seen by Manectric or Fletchinder, then it's going to be quicker. And it guarantees everyone's reset, so... Walk up to the water here, all the shines on the side by the Whirlipedes. I see, okay. Yeah, that single... Oh no, there's the single Electrike and there's the two on top of the roofs, aren't there? The roofs? The roof. I said roof, that was even worse. Still don't know what the right choice is there, but... Oh, please give me Shout for Manectric. Because this is one I sort of want to hunt anyway, so I really hope this is one I can just get naturally, because it makes my life a whole lot easier. I feel more comfortable doing the reset as well because I just know everything's reset then. Every single time, guaranteed. So when you say you go up to the wall, is that... Are you resetting in Wild Zone 16? Or outside Wild Zone 5 for Wild Zone 16? And then just every now and then go up to the wall and check? Because they're in range of the Wild Zone 5 entrance. Is that the case? Yes, if I get either of them two, I can also move. Because they're both being upgrades somehow. I have not caught Fletchinder. I do have two shiny Talonflames that I found as Talonflames. But never a Fletchinder, which is, again, odd. Yeah, so I can just reset here now. If we get past Manectric, then it's pretty easy. I see, okay. So that's interesting then. So that means what? So I can hunt for Pidgeotto or Electrike or Venipede just by resetting at Wild Zone 5, and it's in range of the stuff where the Whirlipede is. Because I did not know that. Because that's nice if that's the case, especially for Electrike. And I think that is the better zone by a mile to hunt for Whirlipede and Bunnelby. I mean, well, we'll take Bunnelby at the moment. It's certainly currently allowed. That's interesting, okay. So that probably, low-key, is by far the best resetting method for Wild Zone 5 then, because it still I assumed that we started on the other side and then, you know, went round and stuff, but, because, yeah, everything was like, if we could link it and see everything sort of vibes. But if you can just reset from the front and it still covers everything, that's ridiculous, because it's such a big wild zone. Like, compared to the other wild zones are so tiny in comparison. Yeah, I suppose. Fair enough then. Alright, well, might as well let this reset. Okay, I will probably end up doing some... I don't know, because in terms of shiny hunting other stuff, I don't know... I don't know what I'm going to be doing after like, this challenge and a few other things. Like, what my sort of plan in terms of how I'm going to shiny hunt is, but I'm sure at some point I'll just be sitting outside Wild Zone 5 doing it if they're all in range, because then that is hopefully a win. Fletchinder not spawn at night? Because it says every... Okay, no, it's just over there. Doesn't seem to spawn as much. Oh, if we drop directly, we don't have to do the ground animation. Interesting. Everything's a little tiny, you know, speed run, a time save. Just, you know, to the way I run and drop off buildings. It's a bit silly, but... Okay, how How did I get spotted? I get Carbink, considering, you know, that one makes a lot more sense, but... I don't know how Manectric saw me. What's the time? Oh, it's only 9:15. Might play a bit of Balatro. I was watching last night some YouTubers all on stream do like the Archipelago stuff, like Small Ant and other people, and one of them was playing Balatro. If you don't know what Archipelago like software is, effectively it's just a program that like links a load of games together, and different you might unlock something in your game, and it can be it's actually an unlock for something else in another game. So in Pokemon, you could find a Pokeball, and it's jump in a Mario game, sort of thing. And it looks really fun. It was really interesting. So I ended up watching quite a bit of Balatro of it and playing some as well. I love Balatro. It's so good. Are you still not getting ads, by the way? I mean, it's not a problem because if they're running, they're running. But it's weird that you're not, because they are running. I mean, yeah. I mean, they were doing a 6-player one. You do occasionally, okay. They were doing a 6-player one. So the games being played were Hollow Knight, Balatro, Don't Starve, Pokemon Emerald. Oh no, it was 7-person. Sorry. Undertale, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. I feel like I'm missing something. Did I say all of them? Okay, hold on. Pokemon Emerald was Smant. CJ was playing Hollow Knight. Della was playing Undertale. Crafty was playing Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Fur was playing Balatro. Spiff was playing Don't Starve. Oh, and Morph was playing Super Mario 64. So, like, in Balatro, I don't know how much played it, but there's, like, different Jokers and different packs and all these different things. And people would, like, come across effectively what they call a check. You know, finding an item or something in your own game, and it can unlock something for you, but it can also unlock other things in other games for other people. And it's just a fun concept to watch and to play, really. It's not really something the average person plays very much, because you need a lot of... Well, not need a lot of people, but also it's just, you know, it's quite a time-consuming thing, and you have to do it with someone else. Oh, maybe then. Maybe. Oh, how badly I want this Manectric to be shiny. It'd be so good if it was. I mean, Mawile I'd certainly like as well. Mawile, but is this the best place to pick up Mawile? I don't know. I mean, I know we can get it in 17, but I think this is sort of the main place for it, so we can certainly take it here. This is one I think I'm going to have to return to for shinies that I need, which is just annoying because, you know, then it's not, again, it's not a quick reset one, but we do cover a lot of shinies. It's just once it comes down a bit more to the wire and just having to hopefully get certain things, it might be a bit more difficult. But then it might be easier to hunt elsewhere. It might be good for now, whilst we still need most things here. Once we start needing individuals, it might just be better to hunt elsewhere. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how we do. As I said, I think we can only go up to 750-ish in total in this entire game, at least for now. You know, once the DLC comes out, we'll definitely be able to do more. I mean, obviously, I know Mr. Mime and Mr. Rhyme are 2 that I don't have, so that's immediately, you know, 2 new ones. But, yeah, we'll have to wait and see how much it goes up by. And if there are wild Auroras, you know, there's that as well. I have one of the Cubones, no, the Marowak, sorry, I can't remember which. But I do have one of them, so the other one we can hunt. So yeah, we'll see how much it goes up by. I'm just curious as to how many Pokemon there are in total, to be honest. I hope there's a decent amount. An Alpha Chingling, yeah. That's what I mean. Okay, so that one makes more sense, right? Because obviously Alpha Chingling, Alpha Chimecho, those were things in the previous game. And ones I'm pretty sure I have in PLA. So whenever they add in home stuff, I can transfer that over to get Alpha Omega Chimecho. Although I'm sure it won't be hard to find just a normal alpha. But, you know, that will make sense why they've included it, because they're giving it a Mega, which I just don't understand why they included Hippowdon. It's just so random, unless they've just delayed it for... Oh, I forgot there's a Kadabra there. Well, if it's shiny, we'll be in range. But yeah, I don't know, it's weird to include it and then to not give it a Mega. As much as I wanted Trevenant to be a Mega, it's in the game because we're in Lumia, so we're in Gen 6. Whereas Hippowdon's just so random. And I would have liked to see the Hippowdon Mega, I think that would have been cool. Alpha Mega Chingling, sorry, is really good though, and I think it's a really great design. Because again, it's another one that's touching back on its, you know, previous evolutions. I mean, you could argue Baxcalibur is realistically Baxcalibur just got a new model that kind of makes it look a bit more like Artifax, just a better model. I wouldn't say it's massively different, but Chimecho obviously refers back to Chingling, so. Maybe some of the donuts similar to the distance they kind of use some of those. I'm assuming it's more which Pokemon appear, rather than, especially with the Kyogre and Groudon donuts that are there. But I am assuming that it's. Oh, imagine it is just a farm for all legendaries. Like they just have legendaries like everything. We can just, and they didn't show at the end, not to hide us one legendary, to hide just everything. We can shiny hunt a load of legendaries. I beg that's the case. And it's just like they're more likely to appear than the average odds, but we have to do a donut for them every time, and we only get one roll or something. I don't know. Anyway, point is, I assuming it's going to be more of what can spawn rather than things. Like something tells me we're going, you know, it's not even going to be the whole of Lumiose just upside down. It's going to be a slightly different one. Okay, what have you posted? Yeah, very true. It is just toilet seat for alligator. It's not great, is it? Like every day I'm glad I picked Tepig. Because in my opinion, it definitely has the best Mega. And I love Tepig and Emboar, my goats. I hate climbing this ladder every time. How are we doing? 30 minutes in. It's not too bad. No phases yet, but no shinies at all. So, you know, because realistically, once we get a shiny, it is most likely going to be what we need. We see 2 Sableye, 2 Esper. Well, you know, I'm just going to try and get up there if I can. And then 1 Meowstic, which we're not always resetting perfectly. So, oh yeah, I'm sure it was strong. But Emboar's the only one that doesn't change type though, because it's dual typing, and I don't think the others are normally, are they? Which is why they both gained a type. Emboar just stayed the same, which made sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like, oh, I love Emboar. Like, I love Emboar. I don't think its Mega is the best in the world. Like, it has grown on me, and I do like it, but it's not like peak design. But the others are just bad, I think, anyway. I really don't think the other two are any good. They're not great. I'm trying to think of more Megas now that refer to the previous Pokemon. See, we just mentioned Chingling for Alligator. You know, I recently clocked Scolopedes. What was the other one I mentioned before as well? Does Gyarados at all, like, I know it gets a bit more red, but I don't know if that's because of Magikarp or if it's anything obvious, but I can't think of anything else immediately. I'm sure there are. I can't think of anything instantly. I mean, it's fine, but like I low-key do prefer normal Meganium one because it just looks a bit over the top, I think, in my head. Like, it's not bad, but I do prefer the normal one. But I think it's definitely a downgrade in my opinion. And Feraligatr is very basic, and it really should have had a bit more upgraded than just the head thing. They could have done something with its arms or its legs that made it a bit more interesting, you know? Like, Manectric goes from cool Pokemon but weirdish design to such peak design in its Mega. Its Mega is so good. Yeah, I'm just glad I picked Emboar. Because it is my favourite of the three, even if it's still not great, you know? To be fair, across the board, Mega starters I don't think are that good. Like, that might be a hot take. But I think Mega Blaziken's boring. I quite like Mega Swampert. I've never used it in my life, though. Mega Sceptile, again, is just not that different. And I think some of it is the scared idea of changing Pokemon too much. But I feel like they usually do that more with Kantomons because people love them so much, and obviously Pikachu or whatever. Whereas it's just like Minecraft. Minecraft don't want to change the fact that they don't want to change the creeper's texture at all because it's just like the iconic one, and they don't want to, you know, anger people effectively. But yeah, I feel like generally across the board, Mega starters just aren't that good. No, see, I don't think so. I think, at least for me, I kind of just see normal Meganium and go, it's just this, like, it's like a cute little dinosaur, but a pretty one, you know? Whereas it feels like the Mega one is, Mum is outside going, yeah, it's a bit cold on the way to school, make sure you wrap it warm, and just starts putting loads of scarves on you. That's what it looks like, a kid who's going, Mum, no, I don't need this many, like... I just right-click to my sound on the taskbar. It says turn down system sound. I don't understand. Yeah, Manectric is a serious upgrade though. I think Manectric's Mega is one of the best designs. So good. Mawile is really good as well, to be fair. No, so I know. So the problem is, right? Is actually, you know what I can do is I can move. I can move the Discord ones. I don't know if I can move the system ones. Because they basically, my mixer kind of organises all my sound, like where it goes, you know, controlling it and everything. But the Discord one is always just notifications, so it's just temporarily appears and disappears upon. But I suppose if I just play something consistently, I can move it. Although, admittedly, I do think I moved it a while ago. It's obviously gone back into the game one, so I don't know. I don't know. Nope, still Manectric. That is not shiny. I suppose we did get like, I feel like 30 minutes though. Is the amount of resets we can do in 30 minutes in Wild Zone 2 quicker than here? It's got to be, right? Yeah, because we're just not seeing. We'd have to see Pokemon so often for the amount of time. Like, just going up this ladder, we can do a whole reset in Wild Zone 2. So, or maybe even 2. It's such a long ladder, such a long climb. I know it's changed music. We don't want thingy. Yeah, certainly to traverse. It's not a fast one. I mean, I said, I'm happy doing it because we see so many, and it's good that I'm not, you know... If I was just going for Manectric here, we'd be in a lot stickier of a situation. But luckily we're not. Why can't I scroll? Oh, it's already looping. Why are these all so short? Let's go for Nintendo Cheerful Music. Okay, I think we might have seen a Mawile so far. That would be my guess if as to what we might have come across, but I guess not. I'm just worried it's going to be Sableye. That's what we don't want. double ladder climbs, which is so annoying. Like, why can't I just go from this roof to this one? It would make life so much easier. It is weird how they just... Some wilds are just so small, others are huge, and then others are just so difficult to traverse, like this one. So this one's a nightmare in comparison to Wild Zone 5 if you start the sewer and stuff, but... I don't know. It's still annoying. Oh, that's what I was going to mention before. Have either of you watched Horizons? Because you definitely should if you haven't. I'm watching it in English, so I'm not as far ahead as Japanese is. Japanese is... I think like a season and a half ahead. Maybe a season. One series. But it's really good. Like, genuinely really good. It's so exciting and interesting and well done. And every time they release a next batch of episodes on iPlayer, I get very excited. Because it is really good TV. I mean, it's not like Walking Dead sort of big cinema sort of thing, but as a Pokemon fan, it's really enjoyable. And I very much like to watch it. It's just a shame it takes so long to release. Surprised me really, because they do it in Japan. And it takes it's like a year behind sort of thing. It's like, does it really take a year just to like the hardest part's got to be the animation. Surely not the voiceover. I mean, they probably have to change the mouths, I imagine. The rest of the thing will be exactly the same. You know, and the English one does have their own intro as well, to be fair. It's different to the Japanese one. But again, I'm just like, it surprises me it takes that long, you know? I want to see it all the time. I want to watch an episode every time it comes out, but I suppose that's the downside of watching it in English. Was that the Morwell from down below? Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on. I have to let my cat out of my room. Stepping on the wall. Okay. Let's keep going. 38 minutes. What did we do? The other one, was it 52? I mean, under an hour for a Wild Zone is all I can dream of, really. There was a part of me is thinking we're only going to get that for like 1. We've already done it for what, 3, 4 now? And ones that I was expecting to, take way longer. So that is fantastic news, really. Wild Zone 20 is going to be an interesting one. I'm assuming it'll be under an hour because we're going to be doing the 6 alphas, but you never know. It might not be. 18, I think we established, might be a pain. Same with 13. But 17, I think, will be relatively fast. We can just reset outside the Diggersby, which is what I'll go for. And if we get a Chespin along the way, we get a Chespin along the way. But we can do what the setup you can do in Wild Zone 20 in 17 with the sort of drawing the Pokemon away from the spawn and then saving and resetting the spawn so then their spawners have moved and you get double the spawn sort of thing. So we'll definitely do that, and we have a better chance of getting Chespin, but more, importantly for the challenge, very likely to get Diggersby very quickly, so that was the plan anyway. Yeah, something tells me that Morwell is going to be shiny. That's my guess for this one, this Wild Zone. That's another thing actually I was considering as well, is how some Wild Zones have these sort of dual spawns, and others don't. Oh, never mind. Hello, shiny Carbink. I better save before you run away. Nice. Okay, we're getting shiny Carbink. There we go. Very, very nice indeed. We will 100% be taking that, and that is a brand new shiny as well, which is the nice part about it. Better than a stage upgrade, and yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it. Pretty cute. I like the blue eyes. I don't know if it normally looks like that, but it's nice. And it does mean, as I said, we can update the number as well. So let me do that. Very, very nice. But yeah, I mean, that's another one. Under 40 minutes, I mean, just. But yeah, that's a big, big win. It always is with these. And the next one's actually the one I've been thinking about the most, to be fair. I've been thinking about this one a lot. Because the next one is Wild Zone 10. And yeah, I'm very excited for Wild Zone 10. Because there's the chance of Sharpedo. You know, it's not guaranteed, and it is less than likely, but yeah, we'll see. In the meantime, however, let's get ourselves up the tier list. Where is it? There we are. So, Wild Zone 10. Let's copy all of these over as well. Okay, there we go. So, Arbok. Arbok will be a stage upgrade. We have plenty of Ekans, but no official Arbok. So Arbok is, of course, a stage upgrade. Bellsprout, as we know already, is a duplicate shiny. Carvana, we do have, but we have no Sharpedo, so that one can go in there. Sharpedo, we don't have at all, so it gets to go to the top, and obviously the one I hope we get the most. Slowbro we have, and all of its evolutions. Staryu we don't have as well. Same with Tynamo, and Watchog is a stage-only upgrade, as we do have Patrat. Once you finish, listen back to the order level with different headphones. I mean, these are the only ones I have, but I can hear, I can turn up everything and everything down, and I've listened back to the audio streams. I do ask people who join a lot, trying to like level it out, and generally I get that it's fine. So I've kind of kept my settings across the board, and there's never been too many issues. So it might be something on your end, it might be something on my end. I don't know, but from everyone else and what I can hear, it seems to be okay. Okay, let's change that. Oh, did I not put them in? Oh, wait, no, never mind. I missed your previous message. Just got two Shalfers right next to each other. Nice. Wait, are those... They're both non-static, right? Because that's amazing. It's another nice... Another non-Shalfer. You're going crazy with those. Or non-static Shalfer, sorry. Wow. Yeah, you're doing a lot better than me on that front. We have one, and it's Skiddo. Okay, Wild Zone 10, just next door. So now, what I need to work out here, I think bench resets. I think the bench is all the way through. So let's start the hunt. So the bench that I was considering doing is all the way up here. It's this one here. Now, it's definitely going to reset Sharpedo, that's for sure. Especially when it follows me all the way up here. However, I'm not entirely sure it resets the ones up here. And I still think it might just be quicker to run that whole way. Because this, you know, this is what we'd love to get, obviously, Alpha Watchog. But it's fine if we don't. But supposedly it is in range of these guys. But as I said, I think because of the vertical distance, it won't be for Arbok. So again, I'm sort of just tempted to run around. I mean, what's all the way over here? It's just more Watchog. This is all Watchog, so we'll check. So we can run to the edge of this, and then go back, and then do the timer. I think we're just gonna run around. I mean, this isn't in the wild zone, is it? No. I just don't think it gets everyone on the roof, and I think the time it takes to reset on the bench, we can still run through here, so it's fine. 6 Ampharos. The only thing is I don't reset these guys, it looks like, and I'm going to have to get these guys at some point. But that may end up being a bench one where I'm just a bit bored and I don't do it, because they're really annoying to get in Scarlet and Violet, which is why I haven't got them. So yeah. I suppose all the time now, if the bench doesn't reach this roof, then it's definitely worth doing this. Does it get... It can't get Sharpedo. There's no way. Surely not, right? Again, this is not the way to go. Sharpedo's so far away. Yeah, I was going to say there's no way. And that's the one I really want to go for the most. So that's the one I'm going to try and get. Why would you put a bench here? I don't understand why they do that. Can we reach that? No, okay. Yeah, Carvanha. But I do have a Carvanha, so I would rather get the Sharpedo. I mean, so the bench is definitely the best for Sharpedo. And at some point I'll do it and get it that way if we don't get it like this. But for now I'm just going to run. It's just a shame that the Tynamo aren't spawning in, because I feel like that is in range. Wait, so if we can face that way. Oh, no, it's up here. Oh, it's going to be up there. But no, it's definitely in range. I don't understand why they don't spawn in, but... So the time it takes to run to the bench, there's no way we would have done a full reset. And if we're checking the roof as well, it just makes more sense. For sure. I don't have to go left or right, though. I think we go right. Because then I want to be able to check those ones. Okay, actually, let's go here because I want to see if we can trigger the people over. Okay, so look, we can trigger Watchog there, and we still get the Arbok here, and then we can jump off. But there's meant to be 2 of them. That's the only thing. But then I have to double back on myself if I go this way. Whereas if I go down here and just do that, I think that's probably enough. I reckon it is anyway. Yeah, but the thing is, I think the bench isn't the roof. I don't think it affects the roof. I think we're out of range. And that's like really difficult to tell as well, because it's obviously you can check what's like resetting. But I think doing the bench, I think doing the bench is resetting what's already there, obviously. But I don't think it's actually reaching the Watchog to reset. So I can't tell if it's, you know, becoming a shiny. Because it's just the first roll, I think, when I get there. There's 2 Watchog here as well, actually. Okay, you know what, let's go this way, because we're much more likely to get Watchog. And it's only really the Alpha Arbok I care about, so we'll try and cover as much of them as possible. Yeah, so here, dive across. And we do spawn the one up there if we go like that, and then we can just check it every time, or every now and then. That's fine. Probably should do a tour of all the wild zones we've visited, at least the bigger ones, in case I have missed a shiny that I've spawned in and haven't gone to that area to check. So I've probably done that. Yeah, that's also true. I mean, I might as well try the Sharpedo. I think we're going to get a shiny pretty quickly in this area, just because of how many Pokemon we're seeing. This one should be another one under an hour, probably quicker. And if we get that lucky chance of rolling it and it's Sharpedo, then great news. And if it's not, we can move on. And I'll come back here, because I will absolutely 100% shiny down Sharpedo Alpha. A wild shiny Sharpedo is very cool. I could get it in Sword and Shield, to be fair, because there's that awful chasing you. But apart from that, this is the sort of main game for it, I would say. Easiness-wise, anyway. It's one of the few Pokemon I don't have a sitting Q2 actually that I would genuinely like. Did I ask my mum for that for Christmas? I know I asked for a couple, but I can't remember if that was one I mentioned. I'm gonna check. We'll wait here whilst night falls. Check the reset. Oh yeah, and use some as well. Did I ask for Sharpedo? Because if I haven't, I should. I did. I asked for Sharpedo, Ultra Necrozma. That was it in terms of sitting cuties. Wow. That is very few. No, not bad. Very good. So I could do that. I could do those resets as well, but then I might as well just do the bench ones. So I wish I could see those Watchog from this. I suppose if we go across maybe, because then I can see those for definite, and I don't have to think about missing those. It's just a bit longer. Oh no, because we have to go across at some point. And going back on ourselves doesn't really make. It's like an extra meter or two, so it's not too much of a problem. Yeah, we'll do that. I think that's the most efficient way. And then so we can see this one when we go across. I'm gonna guess we're gonna get Watchog. And we can easily get Slowpoke or Carvanha. Yes, I do have a Carvanha from doing a little bit of bench resetting here. Obviously I want Sharpedo the most. That would be nice. But I think Watchog makes the most sense. Doesn't seem like anything's day-night either, which is interesting. Let's remember to just slide across those. Save ourselves a couple seconds again. What does Alpha Watchog look like? Because I feel like normal Watchog is faded enough that it feels like it could have been a shiny. I don't know what the shiny one looks like really. Oh god. Watchog. This is really annoying. I'm going to fold this back. It's hitting the back of my hair. Watchog shiny is... Oh my god, it's bright green. Oh my god, I never would have said that. Okay, yeah, I did not know that shiny at all. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's not really too much to worry about. Like, considering we can Bellsprout and Slowpoke are the only dupes here, and there's not that many of them. I mean, Slowpoke spawns in and out with a little bit, or swaps in a little bit and out with Staryu over this side. But we just, you know, we see so many of everything else. It's likely to get Watchog, or probably an Arbok actually. It's certainly going to be harder to get one we already, one we already have. So I did not know Watchog looked like that though. I really had no clue. Patrat obviously gets a little bit of blue and it's shiny, but at least it means that, you know, I know it's going to be shiny. It's the sort of one I want someone to go, don't worry, like, you'll know when it's shiny, because you're like, okay, that means I can feel a bit more confident. And then when it appears, you go, oh yeah, I do know, because it's so different. But, you know, that happens even with the smaller ones. Like, I've talked about it before, but in Scarlet and Violet, when I was hunting Electric, I was so worried. I did an outbreak and I got nothing. And then I did a second sandwich outbreak in the outbreak, and just it wasn't appearing. I was thinking I must be missing it. It's, you know, it's clearly, you know, it's still blue. I'm gonna, oh, what have I done? It's a mistake, whatever. And then it's just, you've just looked at them for so long. It's so distinct when it finally appears, and it's like, okay, one, it is quite different. It is a darker shade of blue, but we're pretty good at recognizing even just a slight change in color. So it wasn't too bad in the end. And I ended up getting both of those Electric, and there's Watchog. I ended up getting both those Electric within 2 minutes of the end, but that is shiny Watchog, if you're wondering. I sort of want to try and save if I can, so I should probably get out of the way because it won't flee. There we go. That was fast. Nearly our fastest run. Nearly our fastest run. I told you we'd get it quickly. But there it is. As you can see, it's very, very different. And that is shiny Watchog right there. Very, very nice. I'm going to just have a look over here. Why not? I was going to stop after that one, but I might go for another one, considering that was a 10-minute run. But yeah, that's what I mean. You can tell it's obvious, right? It's very clear. It really does make a difference. Cheers. See you later. Yeah, that is nice. I'll certainly take that. Sharpedo is going to be an interesting one when we finally go for it, but that is a fast run. We love those. We love to see those. You'll get the Shalfa one soon. I assume you're only going for one, right? You can't go for more than one. You can't go for all three. That would be crazy. Let me get the next one up. Who's in Wild Zone 11? Oh, Wild Zone 11 is going to be a tough one. Should I do it today? I think we'll do a little bit of Wild Zone 11 and see where we're at. Actually, you know what? Wild Zone 11, we can only get the alphas in there. There's only like one instance of... There's only 2 Pokemon that can spawn in that we can get. So I think we will leave this for today. And we'll start afresh. You know, we've done another 3 Wild Zones today, which I was expecting just to be stuck on 8 again, to be honest. So the fact that we're sitting here with Krokorok, Carbink, and Watchog is awesome. I'm very, very happy with that. That's, yeah, insane to pick these up. Very, very nice. Literally found 3 regular shiny Freaky before he got the Shalfa. That's very low. That's really good, I'd say. Oh my god. Wow. That's very, very lucky. Yeah, only one makes sense. I definitely wouldn't go for more than that. But yeah, I'm half of me was expecting to get Carvana, to be honest, but yeah, there we go. That is our shinies done for today, and we're now halfway done. We've now done half of the Wild Zones, so we can kind of move into the back 10 and hopefully take a bit more of a breather. I mean, as I said, 11's going to be a bit tough. That's what we've got up next. 12 should be a breeze, I think. Just with the where you spawn, I think it's near enough to Vanillite. 13, again, it's Pinsir and Weepinbell. We have to run in, so it's not perfect. 14 will be a breeze. 15 should be relatively easy because you have the cafe inside the Wild Zone, so I'll just keep respawning there. 16, okay, 16 is going to be annoying, but we can just reset out 5, so it won't be that bad. 17, easy. 18, oh, 18 is going to be annoying. 19 should be okay, and then 20 should also be fine. So yeah, it's not too bad. It's certainly better than what we've done, but yeah. Yeah, I am going to come off just because I was like, I might as well just end here because we've done the first 10, and the next one's going to be tough, definitely. Or admittedly, as sort of tough as if not easier than Wild Zone 8 in terms of the constant spawns, but it's going to be running off to see them. That's where it's annoying. So hopefully, I mean, we do spawn right next to Slowbro, so that one's going to be instant, which is good. Clawitzer, I think we'll have to run a little bit in, and we'll probably get spotted by then, so it might be a bit of a pain. But why don't we have a quick look now, actually, just to see how annoying it is. So we spawn right next to Slowbro. Oh wait, no, we don't. We spawn the other side. Oh, I thought we spawned there. Oh, bugger. Okay, that is annoying then. Or is a Slowbro that side? I can never remember here. So if we haven't got on through, we can only get... Please tell me Slowbro's hit. No, Slowbro's the other side. Oh, no. So we can literally only get this Clawitzer in the middle. Oh, bugger. Yeah, this one actually might be more tough than I thought. I thought we spawned on the Slowbro side. But we do not. That is a slight concern, I'm not going to lie. Okay, yeah, this actually might be quite tough because although we're always going to get these spawns, like, we're not in, you know, we're not in a good starting space. I mean, I suppose I could reset on that bench, but that's not fun. I'm just thinking I could do that and then go that and see that, and then we're good. So I might have to bench reset, or we just day-night reset here. I don't know, but we'll work it out. We'll get there. But anyway, as I said, we are going to stop here. I will be gone again tomorrow, and we'll start with Wild Zone 11. And hopefully we can get through that as well. We'll have to wait and see. But I appreciate everyone joining today. Thank you all for watching. Yeah, as I said, we'll be back again tomorrow. But for now, see you later. Bye.